Congratulations on Cult Killer. This is just my knuckles are still white. That's how exciting this is.
Oh, you flatter us, Tony Toscano.
I have to. Uh,
We love it.
uh, Shelley, tell me a little bit about your character, Jamie. Boy, she's involved, isn't she?
Nice choice of wording. We'll just go right in. Jamie was abducted when she was 14 and put into this really wealthy and influential cult, and she escapes somewhere around 10 something years later, and she's out for revenge.
And that's just part of the thrills in this movie. I mean, this is such a it's jam packed with all kinds of really interesting twists. Alice, was that what brought you into the film? Was all the twists and turns?
Um, I think probably, obviously Antonio Banderas, but then the subject, who was wonderful to work with, actually, very natural actor. But the subject matter to me, you know, this kind of sexual exploitation happens under our noses in our cities and is rife. And it felt like a very important subject. And I thought Cassie, the character, was very well fleshed out. And I liked how it was, as Shelley and I have discussed, a sort of female revenge thriller. And it was a woman saving a woman, and the women, come together at the end. So there was a lot of things that appealed to me about the little package they sent.
Yeah, but it was a yes right away. Did you have to audition, or did they want Alice Eve?
I did not audition.
You're to that point now in your life.
No, no. If often, no, it's I would never say never when it comes to auditioning, because if some wonderful auteur offers you the chance for something and they want to see you do it, I would happily, wonderfully prepare that. I believe in, actually quite enjoy it sometimes, to be honest. But no, I believe in it. You're never too big to audition.
I also was an offer, which was so cool. I saw Antonio Banderas, Alice Eve, Ireland. I'm in.
And we were lucky to have you.
That's why I jumped at this interview. I had Shelley Hennig and Alice Eve. I'm not going to say no to that, no
We're
matter
a
what.
duo, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys need to star in every movie, I think.
Done.
Well, we like each other.
uh, Shelley, do you like roles with a lot of physicality in them?
How'd you know?
I'm just guessing.
I do. I grew up dancing. Dancing was my first love. Still one of my favorite things. So yeah, I usually go into my characters physically first. That's where I feel most prepped and, ready to go.
And Alice, was there a lot of training for you in this role, playing, an investigator?
I did this Marvel TV show called Iron Fist, where I played a character called Typhoid Mary, and I had a few little tricks up my sleeve from that very intense training with these wonderful stuntmen in Brooklyn. So I used those. I wouldn't say that I have the physicality that Shelley has in terms of the believability that I could do a high kick and get away with it, but I managed to. Well, I do my best. I definitely have a violence inside.
I was thinking that earlier, that it really it comes from that. As a woman,
Yeah.
we were talking about self-defense, and I think it's of energy that you put out, which is no, I'm not, gonna roll over and play dead here. I've been doing that. I mean, I moved to New York when I was 17, 18, so got
Yeah,
that.
and Alice, your role is very intimidating. I mean, you really do have a real grasp on this character, which makes her so much believable to the audience.
Well, I think it was lucky we skewed her to a sort of nerdy librarian, because inside me is a very deeply nerdy librarian, and so that it was through that I found access. This woman who's obsessed with research and details, and then through that has expanded into having a gun, but the ultimate appeal for her is uncovering secrets.
I really, really appreciated how strong these women were, and you know how close you guys were to your characters. You could feel it as an audience.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thanks, Tony.
Um, Alice, I'm going to give you kind of the last word in our interview. What do you think audiences are going to take away from watching Cult Killer?
Oh God, Shelley, save me now. I I think that honestly, I very much enjoyed the film. I think it works as a revenge thriller. I think honestly, I every time I read the news about sex trafficking, sex exploitation, sexual trafficking, I'm like, what does it look like? What is this story? And I think to see it told ultimately puts a narrative in people's head that will allow it to move towards stopping. Like ultimately, we'd like it to not be around in our society. So I think it tells the story vividly enough that makes people not want to have it and maybe support the end of it somehow in whatever way they can. But please, Shelley, say something if I've missed it, because that was overwhelming being told I had the last word.
I know I got real sweaty for you.
I
No,
know.
the thing is like, it only takes one person to listen and believe you. And in this case, it was Cassie. And I mean, I've read stories like that. So it is possible.
I want to thank you both for your time tonight. Shelley, you've always been so nice to me and kind whenever we talk, but I have to go back to She's Out of My League. I met Alice
Oh,
for the junket, and I can't believe how nice this person is. She is just
huh.
a heart with legs.
I second that.
You have been my favorite person today, Tony. You've said the nicest things, so thank you.
You guys have a wonderful evening and eat something for God's sake.
I had Shake Shack. We're good.
Well, there you go. Bye, kids, and I hope to talk to you again real soon.
Sounds good. Bye, Tony.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Tony.